Welcome to the Above and Below After Dark, a podcast where two above average dudes with below average intelligence sit down and have a nice little chat about everything from Naruto to wall spackling. So sit back and enjoy. Hi, I'm Brad.
Hi, I'm Steven.
Not actually wall spackling though.
What are you talking about? We are becoming a DIY group channel podcast thing.
I literally panicked when I looked down and I see that I wrote insert topic to insert topic. And
I was like, clearly he has an idea.
I did not. I just thought it would be charming.
Well, it worked out after the second attempt.
Yeah, no, I didn't think about what to do. I'm just like, oh, holy shit, I'm panicking.
So what is the After Dark series, Brad?
So we're going to try this out in place of our regular podcast today because a few of our members are on vacation.
Having fun at the beach while the rest of us suffer. It's been like weirdly hot and rainy this week.
Yeah.
Up here.
I kind of wish I was at the beach, for being honest.
Anywhere but in Pennsylvania right now with the shitty weather.
But, so we had an idea of it just being two people, just having a one-on-one conversation, shorter form, so like a half hour long. Maybe we touch into some more specialized nerdy shit. Maybe we talk about some more adult subjects. But
eventually it's going to intermingle with our regular podcasts. So like sometimes we'll get extra episodes in. It'll be of the After Dark persuasion. So
we're going to see how this one goes.
All right, and Brad, speaking of topics that I've been wanting to touch on for a while, and it's one that truly interests me specifically in this friend group. And that's the concept of the OC, the original character. And I think Tony once described it the best when it comes to him rating anime. When you're looking at a good anime or a good book series or whatever fantasy you're looking at, he likes to think of it as, how do I start thinking about making my OC? Like how easy it is, how bad do I want to create like an original character in this scape that they've given me? And from knowing you guys for a while and hearing you guys talk about like high school and growing up, you guys have had you and OCs really come together.
Yes, we've got quite a long history with them.
So kind of talk me through it. I know you guys spend a lot of times with like Naruto OCs, and that in of itself is its own can of worms.
That's not even where I'm going to start. Though.
Okay.
Because the first thing we did with OCs wasn't technically OCs, but more like visions of the future. So in like second or third, fourth grade, we used to play on the playground, and we were all watching Dragon Ball Z at the time. So we're just like, well, how do we make this cooler? Because, Super Saiyan just happened, and his hair turned yellow, and it's like, well, what the fuck do we do? So we're playing, and this is before we actually thought to make our own fucking characters. So we're just like, well, let's make our own forms for the characters.
Okay. I mean, that's good. The internet's full of those.
Yeah, so one of our original Super Saiyans was Super Saiyan Blue. So that came true. That was pretty cool. And then one of our bad guys, because we're so original, was just Goku, but tinted black. Like that evil tint they put on things, and it's evil because it's just slightly black.
That's good.
So our bad guy was Goku Black, and then our ultimate Super Saiyan was literally Super Saiyan White, which is basically just Ultra Instinct.
I mean, I feel like at that point it's just a natural progression of things, because you got to think Kaioken was like red, right? You had the red tint on that.
Yep.
Then he turned yellow with Super Saiyan. Man, you're gonna get me off into a tangent with this, because we just watched the movie, the new Gohan movie,
which is great.
It was okay.
It was Bio Broly.
Without spoiling too much, it's Bio Broly's with other characters in it. We got to see some cool forms. We got cucked from seeing Gohan or Gotenks. An actual adulter version of Gotenks.
So it's in the trailer and all over the posters for the movie. So I think it's fair to say that Literally, Piccolo's power-up is just him tinting orange.
You know what's funny? I actually don't mind the color. I think it's cool.
I don't mind the color. God, they could have done something cool, like giving him a new form.
I swear that in like one of the fighting games, you know how you have like alternate colors? I swear I've seen that color scheme before.
Probably.
It's probably like one of the old Budokai games or Tenkaichi games.
I'd believe it. There was the whole different colored Cybermen and all that bullshit too.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And was it Cell Juniors?
Yep. Oh yeah, they had a shitload of colors for those little bastards.
So you guys started with making different forms.
Yeah, that's how that happened.
That's how it began. That's how all the storm began to brewing. And then Naruto comes out.
Yes, literally, we did the whole Dragon Ball thing right up until high school, which was 7th grade for us because we didn't have a middle school. So we stopped having recess at when 6th grade ended. So we're just like, oh shit! Well, Dragon Ball dies here for us, in our playing on the playground.
In terms of our age difference, when did Dragon Ball Z end? Like how old were you?
Oh man!
Like when did the last saga happen? When did the Buu saga end? Because I think I remember it, but I remember I was pretty young. I was still kind of young. I was like in middle school still, probably.
It happened pretty early on, but it aired weird in America.
Yeah, because we had I watched it through Toonami. That's what I watched.
Yeah, that's how we watched it.
And so I feel like the Buu saga was happening around like 4th or 5th grade for me, something like that. So you must have been like almost in high school.
I know Cell was a thing.
November 2001. Yeah, but that's the Japanese version? I'm pretty sure.
American air date actually.
No way. No, but Toonami was airing.
Late 2001 and 2002.
But Toonami was airing it like way later than that.
Everything's fuzzy from that far.
Right? No, yeah, because I remember watching it airing on Toonami, and like I remember watching the fucking Frieza saga be repeated like 15 times, and then they did this.
They did a rerun right after its first run ended.
Well, fine. I watched it when they reran it because Lord knows I barely remember 9/11, and that was in November.
That might be it.
Yeah,
so the reruns.
So we watched the reruns of it going entirely through the series around that time. So you guys were probably getting towards high school when Dragon Ball Z died for you.
Yeah.
In the recess.
Yeah, just about then. So then Naruto literally becomes a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we would go over to Cody's house every weekend and watch it on Toonami because they just got a new flat screen TV with those shitty backlights.
Oh my god.
And it was before the backlights were any good, so it'd just be like something green would be on the screen, so just green hue behind the screen, and we're like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever.
Technology.
But so then we moved into OCs for Naruto. And we all created our own character, and then every weekend we would meet up, and we literally had 6 people, so it was perfect. So we had 2 teams of 3. The good guys and the bad guys, but each side was their own good guys. You know, we were getting into the moral ambiguity of it all.
Oh god. I've made this. I don't know if I've made this comment on podcast. I feel like I have, but if I haven't, I'll repeat it again. Like I was the nerd growing up, right? But I grew up in Philly, so like I would have beaten you guys up in terms of the level of nerdiness that you guys were.
We were ninjas.
Yeah, you all used to play in the forest and shit.
Yeah. It's not like we went out and did it,
in public.
Yeah, it was behind everything.
We hit each other with trees, and it was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
So I know that there's this huge debacle about power scaling for your Naruto characters.
Yeah, it started off pretty normal, where we were just kids.
Right.
We were the next generation before Boruto was a thing. We were the up and comers. And it's before we started making our own, like, super unique original powers. Because there wasn't that much Naruto at the time when we started. So, literally, I remember we made our guys, and I'm like, well, what's going to make mine special? And I was like, well, the Sharingan has the 3 prongs. So I'm just going to be like, my guy's going to have 4. And then eventually it moved up to 5. Because this was even before the Mangekyo Sharingans were thing. And we didn't know about it. So that was my guy's thing. He had these. His name was Rei Kameira. Well, first it was Rei Uchiha because we were original kids.
Right.
Six people, 3 teams. My team was me, Rei Uchiha, Kyo. I forget his last name.
Ipikyo Kami.
Was that always it though?
It was always Ipikyo Kami.
He's so extra.
Who's that? DJs?
That was Michael.
Oh.
And then we had DJ, which was Yuki Monatomo. And his whole thing was he was just an ice guy.
Okay.
And then the enemy team, we had Tony's Brilliance of Leroy Uchiha.
That one still boggles my mind.
We had Leon Hinamoto, which was he's like a blood wizard. It was super cool. And then Tony's little brother was Trigun.
Okay.
Yeah, he was sucked.
So you guys would fight, and walk me through a fight. Like, let's see, I'll just meet up on a Saturday. So you guys team up.
So we start off just, we're all doing our own thing. We're progressing the story in our own minds because we didn't have an overarching story.
Oh my god!
And each side did their own thing, and eventually a skirmish had to happen. So we would meet up. We would have our kunais, which would be short sticks. We would have swords, which would be long sticks. And we would do like hand-to-hand little fun combat things. Cody was the worst, though, because he never cut his fucking fingernails. And then all of a sudden, like, you're going to punch at each other, and then your skin just rips 6 fucking inches off your hand.
Jesus Christ.
And it's just like, ow, that fucking sucked.
Was this like WWE? Was it scripted? Like who was gonna win, who was gonna lose?
No.
Or was it...
No, we kind of just went with it how it felt at the time.
Okay.
Some of us were better at losing than others.
Okay.
So
it started off innocently enough. You guys were hanging out.
Yeah, we all had a great time.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because it's funny that Tony's not here, and maybe he'll listen to it while editing. Lord knows we don't know who's gonna listen to this while he's editing. But I had an OC back in the day, and I always give him shit about Leroy. But you guys don't understand. I also had an OC at the time.
Okay.
And his name very original, was Steven Uchiha. I gotta come up with a fucking name. I wanted to be a Naruto. It was my goddamn name. And I also thought the Uchiha were the coolest ones under the sun. So of course I wanted to be part of their clan. But then I'm like, wait, that's weird. Because, like, they're all dead.
Yeah.
So that means I would have had to survive the massacre. But wait a minute. I'm going to have an older brother.
Oh, no.
And he's going to save me from the massacre that was the night of Itachi wiping out the clan. And so that was my whole shtick. Actually, I lied. I believe he survived. I believe he was able to fend off and he was not mortally wounded by Itachi. And that was my whole thing. And obviously this was way before Shippuden, at least our knowledge of Shippuden. So we didn't know all the backstory of fucking, Itachi being made to do this, that whole backstory. He was still evil.
The hero.
Yeah, he was still evil, right? So that was my whole thing. And this was also a weird one. So like you had AMVs, right? That was a real big thing.
Yep.
There was this. Oh God, I am embarrassed saying this. So on YouTube, I don't know if they still exist. You might still be able to find some of this, but there were online chat room Naruto videos you could watch.
Oh God!
And I used to watch those growing up. So it was like they were in a chat room talking. It was all of them, and it was, oh God, it's so cringy to talk about.
Man, if I as a kid, I would have beaten you up.
Yeah, but no one knew.
That's fair.
I was the quiet nerd.
That was the closet
nerd. So you guys get to, so after my deep dark secret of me fucking watching those kinds of videos growing up. So you all had your nice little characters. They were a lot of fun to play.
We should say that this went on for years.
Oh yeah.
Like 6 years of Naruto every fucking weekend, building these OCs and crafting their powers. And as more information became available to us, we changed them and upgraded them. And they were all ended up being so cool. Well, except Tony's.
So I'll talk about what ended up becoming the struggle of the power gap, of the power.
So we all just started naturally progressing. And then a few ideas came up, like one of my next powers after the 5-pronged Sharingan, which didn't even have a definition of what they could do. They were just, I got
well, it's
5
fine. Neither do the writers of Naruto. The Mangekyo Sharingan just kind of does whatever the fuck it wants.
Yeah, exactly. I was ahead of the time.
Yeah, you do.
So I made this ability where I could just cover my whole body in chakra, and it would be like a big old lightning blade all the time.
Okay.
So then to match that, Tony's like, well, my guy has near limitless chakra, and I can make it solid. She's like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea, but near limitless? Really? And he's just like, oh, yeah, it's a almost infinite reserve. And the way he would justify that at the time was he had 3 demons sealed in his character's arm.
I can feel the edge already. And
So-
it's not just him. We'll get to the other ones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So that started the arms race. And then it got to the point where after a few years, it's 10th grade now. This is when it started kicking off because we were still doing it
Right.
the whole way till we graduated. It's 10th grade. We're talking about our characters. And Tony goes, Brad, yours is really weak. Your guy's weak. And I'm just like, what do you mean he's weak? I like to think he's balanced. You know, he's fun. He's how I like him. At this point, I had changed my character's name. I had changed his backstory. He became Rei Kamayura. His whole thing was his shadow eyes, which were pretty cool because they could like.
Was that the one that you can copy jutsus?
They could copy ocular jutsus, but
Yeah.
only for the amount of time that he could see the other eyes as they
Right.
were open, because it was like stealing light.
Right.
Basically that. And I'm just like, oh, I think my guy's cool. He can move really fast. And that was his whole shtick. And Tony goes, oh, he's so weak. My guy. So he ditched the 3 demons, right?
Okay.
He ditched that idea. And eventually he settled on something called the Infinite Pronged Seal, which was a single dot, a black dot on his hand, that if he touched you with it, you were teleported to his universe where he was God.
Fun.
And he could draw from this for infinite chakra. And then I'm just like, no man, I'm not the problem here. You're just broken. Like you don't have boundaries. Your character is not well defined. You're just OP.
Was Tony's character OP and then made everyone else's OP, or were everyone else's OP and you were underpowered?
Technically, the arms race started. The way we got OP is because Michael went crazy too.
Okay. Well, what was Michael's character?
He was the Kage of the Soul Village or the Time Village or some shit like that. And his whole shtick was he was a fallen angel. Yeah, right. It's pretty fucking lame.
You can take them. Okay.
So he literally had this one jutsu called the Fallen Angel Jutsu where he just was God.
Okay.
He's just God. Can't be killed, can't be stopped. That's just how it goes. And then it progressively got worse than that. Cody never got crazy. His guy could control blood. That's it.
That's fucking nuts, though.
That was
Cody.
cool.
There's more to that too. I went with inspiration from Moroku, where he had a curse and he was bleeding to death slowly.
Okay.
He didn't have regular chakra either; it all got converted to blood.
Okay.
But it was
That's
cool.
pretty neat.
It was cool. His character was cool. Trigon, Tony's little brother, we don't even give a fuck about him. He didn't do shit. DJ was always just about snow, so he had ice jutsus. And eventually his thing was he got an ice dragon sealed inside of him, and he could call on its power. But it wasn't like it wasn't infinite,
right. It wasn't like you became a god.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was strong. But
So the main culprits then is Tony and what's his face?
yeah, they started it,
Okay.
and then for a little bit Dakota got in there. I don't remember too much about his character.
Wasn't it like the Trinity? That man is obsessed with the
Some
Trinity.
shit like that. Gaia, Darkness, Void.
Yeah.
And then he had a diamond body, a body made out of diamonds or some shit. But so then the arms race started, and then I remember them literally bullying me in high school because my character wasn't strong enough. So I'm just like, all right, fine, fuck you. Next week I come back, I revamped this cool new ability called the creation pots. Because you know some myths they have where they sculpt the pot for the world from
Yeah.
clay. And each one has access to that type of chakra, and he could use them to basically do anything. It's how I made him God.
Yeah.
Except I gave them a weakness, a really obvious one. No one ever figured it the fuck out.
I'm gonna take the pots away.
All you have to do to destroy the pot is hit it with the element that it's fucking controls.
Oh, so it was like a fire
Yeah,
they
you
use
smack them with fire.
jutsu.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And they didn't figure that out?
Nah. And to use them, I literally had to have them around me at all times. So they were just spinning.
They were always in range of being destroyed.
Yes.
So walk me through. Okay, so I get the idea before, years back, you guys were fighting, right? It was kind of even. How did the fighting progress? Because now you guys are like uber level, cataclysmic level threats.
Yes.
How did these fights? Because I'm assuming you weren't carrying pots spinning around you at all times.
No, not all times.
And not at all times. so like, how did these fights progress?
It starts off with just a basic, we're encountering. We counter. We do some hand-to-hand combat real quick. And then we start busting out our little jutsus.
Okay.
And then it scales. It gets bigger and bigger. And then the fights ended up being a lot of, no, you can't fucking do that. I literally hit you with this because in order to do things, we had to physically be able to touch the other person.
Okay.
So if I actually hit you in the chest with my lightning blade,
then that happened.
Bitch, you got it.
Okay. How'd you guys do projectiles? Did you just throw shit?
Yeah, we just threw shit.
Okay. So you did your uber mega water dragon demon soul jutsu and you threw something?
Yeah, you threw a rock or some shit.
And if it hits them, it hits them. Okay.
Yeah. And it's gotta hit them. If they deflect it, they deflected it.
Okay.
Go fuck ourselves.
So it has to be a clean hit.
But I would say if we played for an hour at that point, 25 minutes is just arguing about bullshit. Be like, no, my jutsu literally hit you. You're stupid. You can't block that. I don't give a fuck.
So when did it come to a head? Was there ever a boiling point? Even if it came years later, because I feel like at the time when you guys are young, you guys are all heated arguing about my creation pots or my infinite soul universe or my fallen angel.
We never really closed out the story, and it never really came to a climax.
Okay.
We eventually just went away for college and stopped.
Do you remember where it ended? Or where you guys were?
The last thing that happened was my character with my creation pots had to fight Michael's character. I guess what this fucker had. Destruction pots.
So even then, man, the fucking things kept coming.
I come up with this super cool original thing, and he's just like, yeah, mine are like that, but blow
better.
Shit up.
Oh my god. And I remember having these fucking conversations with Dakota specifically. I'm like, you can't be stronger than the strongest or fastest than the fastest, but then y'all come up with this shit.
Yep.
I have the creation pots. Well, I have the creationer pots.
Exactly.
Oh my god. I'm a god of my own universe. Well, I'm god of this world.
It got to the point where Tony would be like, I'll hit you with my infinite prong seal. I'll be like, great, my pots come with me, bitch. I'm god in here too, motherfucker.
Oh my god. So oh my god, things must have gotten fucky. And you know what's funny? I think I have experienced just a tad of what you guys used to do.
Yeah.
Because there are times because we all have our lightsabers, right? And we go out randomly at night to play. And there have been times where like me and Tony will fight, and he starts a dialogue, and it catches me off guard, so I have to start a dialogue with him.
That's how it starts.
And it was real funny. It was me. I think everyone had gone home, or everyone had gone in at the time. We were playing ninja with lightsabers. So if you don't know what ninja is, you all kind of hang out in a circle. You say ninja, and then you have to make one swift motion to try to cut people's arms off. So if you make contact with your hand to the arm, you cut their limbs off. And you have two arms. So if you get both of them cut off, you're out of the game. And the game progresses like that in a circle until it's over. So we did that with lightsabers for a little while. We still do it, but we haven't done it in a minute. So after that, I'm pretty sure it was after that, we were just fucking around, and we were on the street, and it's 11 at night, so obviously there's no
car.
Yeah,
you get all through.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the good thing is you can see the headlights, so you have to be like a fucking nerd, turn off your lightsaber, and watch as they drive past.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
So it's me, Bobby, and Tony. And when we had created these OCs for a hot minute because we were all excited for our lightsabers, and I'm the only one that has a red lightsaber, so clearly I was the only villain. And Tony, Edgelord McTony had to have a gray Jedi, not gray Jedi. He wants to use both sides of the Force, but still be good.
Gray Jedi aren't real,
and gray Jedi canonically aren't real anymore. And then Bobby was a Padawan that turned to the dark side. That was converted over. So we start like dueling, and Tony starts this this dialogue, and the way the story progressed was I had secretly turned the Padawan that was his. So Bobby, I turned Bobby. So at first it was a 2v1 fight against me, and then I turned Bobby secretly without him knowing prior to this engagement, and then he turns on Tony.
Yep.
So the fight is progressing, and Tony hits Bobby. Tony hits Bobby, the lightsaber turns off, and then they're like, oh, you're out. And then we're like, wait a minute, how the fuck did I just lose my edge here? That doesn't, and I wasn't going to argue. And I'm like, okay, fine, he's out of the match. His lightsaber died. And so he's like, oh, he's dead now. So it's Tony and me going back and forth, hitting our lightsabers off of each other. And there's just this one line that Bobby cracking up. He goes, look what you did! Tony yells, he's like, look what you did! And he's pointing at the dead Padawan. And I'm like, I just like, out of character, go, but you did that! Because he's the one that hit the lightsaber off of Bobby and killed Bobby. So we had a chuckle, we had to stop, and then eventually, I think he got me somehow, and then that was just kind of the beginning and end of it. So I feel like, without being there, I know how you guys
That's exactly how
progress.
Yep.
Progressing. So you know what? It's funny. So then it's kind of like WWE.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't plan that shit out. They're like
just a big production.
they call their spots sometimes. So instead of having a theatrical,
that's a good way to put it. It's literally just you call your spots.
Yeah, you're like, okay, kunai at face.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Okay. I'm trying to think. How much time we got left? We got a little bit.
We got
of time.
5 minutes.
Something a little bit more modern in terms of like OCs that we've kind of talked about, but not delved too deep into aside from Star Wars is My Hero Academia.
Before that, I want to talk one more thing. I got some vindication.
Okay.
Remember how I said they bullied me for my guy not being original and not being strong, right? So now, recently we've started talking about our OCs again.
Right.
And Tony goes, yeah, I'm ditching all my cool shit and I'm just gonna have the Sharingan. And I'm like, you son of a bitch, you literally bullied me because I had the Sharingan. So I ditched it and now you're just taking it again? Go fuck yourself.
With that, since we were coming up with our OCs, I had a guy who, because I'm Sand Ninja for life. I love them to death, all of them.
I hate sand.
So I had a guy who helped build the village. His clan was like a warring clan, and then they used their ability to manipulate sand and became basically like sand masons.
Yeah.
So they'd build shit,
Okay.
and they kind of ditched that side of their past when everything kind of became unified. And so my character was the only one in like the long line that was like, hey, I want to be a ninja. And they were like, oh, they were sand manipulators and puppet users, because those are my two favorite abilities.
Yep.
So they were like, oh, cool, you want to be a ninja? That's awesome. Here is the puppet that was used by your ancestors. We have literally no use for this thing anymore. You use it only in emergencies because it's very dangerous. And he manipulates sand and he uses mostly sand puppets. So he can create things out of the sand that he carries around and turn it into a shape, harden it or make it soft at will, and manipulate those like manipulating the puppets. And then if shit got fucking dangerous, then he's like, all right, gotta bust out the old dusty puppet that no one's used in like 100 years, and then it's like this dangerous fucking
literally
thing.
A puppet named Dusty.
That would be it. That's his name. Whatever Dusty is in Japanese. But got it! What's Dusty in Japanese?
I don't know, but Suna is sand.
So he would use Sune puppets.
Sure.
Suna
Suna.
puppets.
Yeah.
At least I think. I could be wrong.
I'll take your word for it. They can correct us in the comments that won't be at the bottom of this video.
I like the idea of OCs.
Yeah. And then a quick touching upon the OCs for My Hero Academia. The one I had, there's a weird obsession in this group with Schrodinger. Yes. So like when something exists and doesn't exist, we can't prove yet, it's Schrodinger's blank. Right?
Like Mace Windu being alive.
Yeah, it's Schrodinger's Jedi. We don't know if he's alive or dead. Schrodinger's dead. There could be literally anything like that. You enter Schrodinger in and that's just the joke. So my character OC in My Hero Academia is literally named Schrodinger. He has a shit ton of boxes, right? So he can put things in the boxes, and there are like weird parallel dimensions inside the boxes. So like he can manifest let's say there's a burning building. He can manifest the box in the burning building and manifest the box next to him. Someone gets in the box, he takes the box out of existence, and now the person is next to you. You pop him over and he comes out, right?
Yeah.
So he can manipulate a couple different boxes, and he can kind of manipulate shit like that. But it's Schrodinger because you don't know if they're alive or dead until they come out of the box, because the other dimension or whatever it is has weapons that Schrodinger can call upon. So if he's fighting a villain and he traps him in a box, swords and knives or something can come and just kill the guy, and then he opens the box and the villain is dead or captured or whatever it has to be. So it's Schrodinger. You don't know what it is until you open the box.
I like that. My dude for My Hero was literally just a really fat guy who had to store his calories so he could turn them into energy, but all he could do was make tentacles.
Oh, God.
He gets cool energy tentacles, and that's it.
The first two things I think of when you say that, one is hentai, and the second one is Alawi from fucking League of Legends.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one I hate more.
Sort of like Choji and Alawi.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I hate Alawi. I hate banning that bitch every time we play League. And I actually had to stop that because Teemo has been fucking me over more.
I hate that little rat.
And then the thing is, like, okay, Alawi comes out, everyone's playing Alawi, you ban Alawi, now people are playing Teemo. And so I just continue to hate ban Alawi, and all of a sudden Teemo has become the problem again, so I had to start hate banning Teemo. And I haven't, knocked on wood, dealt with an Alawi since I started hate banning Teemo again.
You know what? I'm perfectly okay with ending on hating Teemo.
Yeah, fuck Teemo.
That works for me.
Blood to the blood god, fuck you, bitch.
So, I would like to say thank you for joining us today. If you liked what you heard, please check us out on Twitter at Above and Below 69.
Nice.
If you want to support us, you can follow us on Twitter, leave a rating on the site you used to listen to us. If you're on YouTube, please search Above and Below, give us a like and a subscribe. And as always, have an above average day.
Au revoir.
Later, bitches.